Hi. We're here
Hi,
for the heat?
doctor. Boy, are we glad to see you.
Okay. Shall we come in?
Yeah.
All right. What do you got? No heat?
No heat. I'll get it.
Let's go see what you got. It's cold. 58 degrees, right?
Yeah, 50, 58.
When did it go out?
Last night sometime.
Okay. Okay. Burnham Steam Boiler. I assume you have hot water.
Yes.
Okay. Because if you didn't, that means you have a gas problem.
No, the hot water, the stove worked.
Someone tried taking us apart or doing something?
Yeah, we had somebody come this morning. They said they don't have time to do whatever has to be done.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
It means
They-
it was not very helpful.
Oh. So you called someone else out here. They took a look at it and they left.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, now we're here.
Yes.
We're not going to leave until it's working.
I like that.
You're welcome. Let's see if I get some light. And so this went out last night.
Sometime last night. We don't know exactly when.
Maybe early in the morning.
When I woke up, it was 61 in the house. I don't think anybody's looked at it in about 3 years.
Oh, okay. That's all charred up. See the wiring? So the wiring's all charred up right there. And the rollout switch. The connectors are melted.
That doesn't sound good.
Nope. Oh. Look at that. What was that, ma'am?
Do you think we need a new boiler?
That's a little premature for that. This boiler's from September of 2008, and as long as she's not leaking steam or water, then we're all right. All right. Here. Let's see what's going on here. We'll start with the, wow, the wire just broke off. Let's start by testing the rollout switch. We'll get a, let's get a voltmeter and test that. Set that to continuity. We'll test that. This may have not have been in the correct position. Possibly. Possibly. Burners. Actually, she's probably a leaker. If you look all the way back there, see the rust? A lot of debris in there as well. All right, set that to continuity. Roll switch is good. All right, let's get turn on the switch, see what happens.
Right there. On the side.
Steven. We have 24 volts. Because the vent damper is rotating. See that? So now she's closed. And she's not going to reopen because the rollout switch doesn't exist right now, which is still good, by the way. So it looks like the case of that plate was not in position. We'll soon see. But we don't have power because of the... Hold that for a second.
Trying to do something.
I have pilot. See, look. I got a pilot, and the gas valve's getting power. This wasn't a good connection. So what happened here was that plate was not on properly, and and some of the heat got through and melted the wires. We'll confirm that with a combustion test. Cool. So take a look at all the burner tubes. They're all rusted up towards the back of the combustion chamber. And that's indicative of a leak in the cast iron heat exchanger. I'm not saying you have to replace this immediately, but you are losing efficiency of the boiler because steam is going up your chimney. And if you look, wow. Yeah.
A lot of stuff on the ground there.
Oh my God.
I'm looking on your camera there.
Yeah. And if you were to look outside on a cold day, clear cold day, if you ever notice white smoke coming on the top of your chimney? Yes?
Yeah.
You know what that white smoke is?
No.
It's not the Pope electing of a new Pope.
No, I know that.
That's steam. How long have you noticed that for?
Just this, I mean.
Just this season, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when it started. So listen, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying you have to replace this, but eventually that crack in the hole. Let me ask you another question. You have an automatic water feeder here, right? That black box.
Yeah.
How often do you hear that go off? Or you don't know?
I don't know
Okay.
how often. I mean,
Yeah.
it's down here where
Understood.
Upstairs.
Yep.
I don't know what the sound is.
Yeah.
That would go
So
off.
with steam boilers, they normally, you know, they can last forever. You know, I'm not saying like a million years, but a cast iron block of a section of the boiler can last literally a lifetime. And they fail on a steam system generally when the system is taking on too much fresh oxygenated water. So every time this boiler needs more water, oxygen, which is in water, and cast iron don't mix. But in a steam system, it's an open system. So it boils water. The water, you know, is created into steam. It travels throughout the pipes, it goes to all the radiators, and you'll hear them
the hissing, yeah.
right? And they shouldn't continuously hiss. If they're continuously hissing, that means you're losing steam, which means you're losing water, which means then it has to be
They
replaced.
steam for 10 minutes and then they cut off.
Correct. But no, but it shouldn't hiss continuously. So if you're hearing that, that's an issue, and that's loss of water, which is loss of steam, which means it has to be replaced, and that black box right there will replace it. But eventually, over time,
Just the black box that would be replaced?
no. That's just the black box replaces the water.
Oh, okay.
Because that's an automatic water feed. Once it
the
senses,
water back
yes,
in.
because you don't have, that's the way it was installed. Over time of that process, rinsing, washing, and repeating over and over and over again, you will cut. Well, not you personally, but that fresh oxygenated water will cut a hole above the water line in the cast iron, which is what it did here because of all the debris that's in there and all of the rust that's on the back of the burner. So if we were really to take this apart, or when the time comes where you actually do replace this boiler, you'll see the hole in the cast iron, and then you'll see the reason why the chimney. Top of the chimney is white smoke coming out, which is steam.
Right.
So, again, this is a fairly new boiler. I've taken out boilers that are 4 years old, literally, 4-year-old boiler.
This is 12, 13.
This is 12. Yeah, but literally, the youngest boiler that I took out, a Burnham Steam Boiler, was exactly 4 years old. And what happened was another contractor replaced the boiler that had the same condition, but they didn't resolve the underlying condition. And that's what happens. All right, we're gonna vacuum this out for you. This, as you see, I got the system up and running in seconds. Because this plate, in my opinion, we'll confirm this with a combustion test, make sure everything's burning properly. But this plate, I don't think was in properly, and then that wire, which was which were these, got that heat burnt out, and then
It stopped.
it stopped working. So fortunately, listen, we already bypassed this. It works. Fortunately, the transformer didn't burn out, which is that right there.
Right.
And we just crimped on 2 new spade connectors. But we'll vacuum this out and then do a combustion test. Yeah, the boiler is crumbling apart. Literally, unfortunately. I don't like to be the bearer of
You know what? If it lasts us 15 years, that's not so bad.
Yeah, but technically, you know what? It should last a lot longer.
I understand.
At the end of the day, yeah, I understand. You got 15 years out of it. You're happy. Okay, no big deal. Just like getting 15 years out of the Ream tankless water heater that hasn't been descaled and flushed, you know, since day one.
We're fine for now.
Yeah.
We're gonna need probably 3 to 5 years. We'll probably need a new one.
I don't think you'll get that long out of this.
No? So 2 or 3 years.
Not even that. What's gonna happen is your gas bills are gonna skyrocket, right? And maybe you'll notice what are you doing? Yeah, but if it's not spraying right, what are you like?
Do you think it's possible to like buy some new parts for it?
No, it's just cast iron PC back.
No. Listen, technically, we could theoretically, and not we, but a plumber could theoretically strip this whole thing off, everything you see here, and take the block, which is inside here, throw it out, and put a new one in. Theoretically. I don't know anyone who's going to do that. You're going to spend, it's double the amount of work. So double the amount of work is double the amount of labor, and you still have all the components remain the same. To save, I don't even know what the math would be on that. But theoretically, yes, you could order just the block, a cast iron block, take this whole thing apart, which means take the piping off, take every single part you see off this, take it off, drop the new one in place, rebuild it, everything like.
Yeah.
And do you recommend to have maintenance like once a year?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because we're not really like adults, so we didn't realize that. Trust me, we feel very stupid though.
Listen, if you don't know because no one told you, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
But if you know because someone told you and you don't follow through on it, then you're just ignorant.
It never occurred to us. Like it's not what we do.
I hear you. So we took out all the burners, we cleaned them, we made you aware that the boiler will need to be replaced. When is entirely up to you. Eventually there's going to come a point, guys, where that hole, that leak, is going to get worse, it's going to drip water, and it's going to constantly put out the pilot. And you'll be constantly relighting that. Now she's reopening.
Is there a specific type of boiler we should get?
So you have a Burnham right now, and that's what we would probably put back in. We deal with National Grid a lot, and we get them at discount, generally, which, passes on to you as a rebate. See, it's got that smell, that burning smell.
How much do they use for?
I'll have to figure that out for you. I can quote you. I can quote you a proposal. I'll let that heat up a little bit. Those flames are very, very yellow. Very yellow. May have an improper fuel and oxygen mixture. We kind of got a smell as well. All right, let's get that set up, and then we'll go to the back of the boiler. What is this? The old oil line? Yeah. Thank you. I got it. Just stick my probe right in there like that. We're gonna let this run for a little bit and see what happens. Actually, you can probably see it right away. Look at that. Sky high carbon monoxide. We pull up the sensor. I don't want to damage. It's already on sensor protection. All right.
It's not going so good.
No. This thing's putting off an astronomical amount of carbon monoxide, and that's indicative of the yellow flames that we have here. So we're going to try to make some adjustments here. See what we can do. We're going to start with minimum gas pressure is 4.5 inches. All right. Manifold pressure 3.5 inches. So we're going to try to adjust this. Let me get the flat screwdriver. First, I'm going to dial it down. going the right way, down. There's no reaction on the gas valve. Let's see something. Sorry, it's going the wrong direction. We need to go counterclockwise to decrease gas flow. All right, so now that we've lowered it down a little bit, I gotta check gas pressure. Let's get the Allen keys. All right, let's test gas pressure. It's still on. Let's turn this on. Wrong way. Wait, oh, what is this? It stuck to me. CDs.
Sorry.
CDs stuck to me. All right. So I need a minimum of 3
At least you know it's a CD.
and a half inches of water column.
People have no idea it's a CD.
All right. I'm adjusting. And it's instantaneous, so let's go to 3.5 inches. And then we'll retest combustion. It's not giving me more. Gas valve is shot. Look at that. It's not giving more than 3.3 inches. So let me lower this down, because I could lower it down a little bit. We need a new boiler here, but it's not happening this afternoon.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah. So let's see what I could safely bring this down to.
Much as a new
A
boiler
minimum fire rate, because I'm concerned about the carbon monoxide. Let's try. Let's go to 3 inches. I'll prepare a proposal for you.
Okay, this size has been working.
Yeah, this is probably what you need, which is a 4-section, actually a 5-section. How many square feet is the house, by the way? Not that, doesn't matter with steam, but
We don't have anything.
it's based on the amount of radiant heat that you have in the piping, and also look at that. I got my probes right here. It's just trying to bring that back down to 0. 58,000. 106,000. Might have blown the sensor. All right, let's let that 0 out, and then we'll test. No good. No good. Way too much carbon monoxide. That sucks. What? You can't even. No. Let's let that run. Try to turn it off and see if the sensor's not dead. All right. Time to quote him a new boiler. You're gonna get the same exact model, actually.
Okay. They still make it. That's good.
Listen, it's a great boiler. Now listen, it's cast iron. The cast iron is made in the same foundry plant with the rest of U.S. Boilers products, which is U.S. Boiler owns Burnham, made in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
There isn't much of an alternative when it comes to like steam. Listen, you're not getting any benefit for putting in a cheaper boiler or a more expensive boiler. The only reason why I put in Burnham for cast iron boilers, that is, in most cases, especially with steam, is because of National Grid rebates. If it wasn't for that, I would still put it in. But if you go online, you'll find bad reviews on everything.
Yeah.
And you also find the great reviews.
How much rebate am I going to get?
I think about $250.
Okay.
It's not really.
Not exciting.
Yeah, not exciting. It's a good
Something.
it's a good word.
Exciting.
But listen, it's a less than 1 day job. You know, we go through the garage, right down these stairs, and yeah. But you know, we have to find the underlying condition. What made it fail to begin with? She's hot. We're just giving them some temporary heat. I'm gonna get tons of hate for this one. At least the pressure troll is set to where it should be. Right around 1 psi. All right. The reason why I'm a fan of a standing pilot is the part is not electric. You know, the electronic ignition systems, those electric ignition modules are hundreds of dollars versus a thermocouple, which is, I wouldn't say pennies, but a fraction of the cost.
Right.
You know, so they took away the mechanical operations of the boiler by adding electronic ignition, which they actually tried to do in the 80s when the EPA decided to, listen, you know, we're going to make things more efficient, we're going to get rid of standing pilots, and now these manufacturers are scrambling to make something work. And a few companies did. You know, White Rogers made one, Honeywell made one, flame rectification systems, and a little white box that sent a spark to, you know, the pilot burner, and some of them are still around today. But the newer ones, those electronic ignition modules, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but you'll replace that electronic ignition module within the next 10 years. You would also be replacing the thermocouple, you know, in 7 to 10 years as well, but it's a fraction of the price.
Right.
So, to save $40 a year in gas.
Of course.
Steven, anything yet? All right. That's how Mikey Pipes gets it done. Can you believe that someone was there this morning, took a look at it, and what did he say? Is like,
this is too much work.
This is too much work. I have no time for this.
Crazy.
And he lost out
Yup.
on a boiler job.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think they would have gotten a boiler job, because who would have whipped out a Testo 320?
It's a fact.
Right? They would have like, oh, the burning smell. What's that smell? Oh, it's fine. It's burning. It's good, right? But I whipped out the Testo after, you know, I already knew there's something wrong with the heat exchanger, because I'm very observant, because a good technician will be observant of their surroundings, like I drill into Steven's head all the time. The same way I drilled into Kelvin's head. Kelvin, if you're watching, teep, Sheely. Kelvin, if you're listening, Sheely. Right? You know what I'm talking about, Kelvin. We miss you, Kelvin. Handing out vaccines at the Jacob Javits Center.
Yep.
Oh, was I not supposed to say that? No, he's National Guard. He was working for the people.
That's not
a confident. It's not like he's protecting like Cuomo stay home. You know? Cuomo stay home. But, you know, any other guy, like the guy this morning, even if he had the time, he would have spliced the wires in, and then I don't think he knew what he was doing at all. He thought he was expecting the pilot to be out and blah, 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 but look at that. The wires are burnt, and the guy said, I don't have time for this. Can you go already, lady? Look at this. Anyway, and we got the boiler job, which we're going to do on Monday. A Burnham SIN5, 140,000 gross BTU gas-fired steam boiler. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. And if you haven't subscribed and you are not a 26%er, the best way you can support this channel, oops, stop sign. The best way you can support this channel is to subscribe and give me your thoughts, feedback, criticism, even a thumbs down if your dog eats. I was going to say something stupid, but yeah, give me a thumbs down, actually. No, actually don't. It'll mess with the Google algorithm. But you know, there's those 5 to 10 guys that give me thumbs down regardless. It could be a perfect video, like most of my videos are, because I'm just Mikey Pipes. Saint Mike doesn't do it wrong. I know. Let me stop being so cocky.
And hit the notification bell too.
Yeah, hit the notification bell. I'll send Godzilla to your house and give you a pounding.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. All right. God bless, guys.